we celebrate the 32nd Sunday in ordinary time. And I always ask these two questions. And I would like anybody of you, when you meet him, wherever you meet me, you can answer to me these questions. Why is God personified as a man? And wisdom personified as a woman? Yet God is love. I'm not comfortable with the way you are looking at me, okay? The first reading of today says that wisdom is found only by those who search for her. And to acquire her, one needs patience, hope, and you should never give up. To find wisdom is to find God. And unfortunately, we neglect the fact that God granted us wisdom to know how to seek and worship Him. Without wisdom, our spirituality remains shallow and unbalanced. Our religious life would be a mere fanaticism. With wisdom, we seek to find God and to worship Him. The gospel of today, Jesus uses the parable of the 10 virgins to teach us how we must be prepared and vigilant for the parousia, or for His second coming. 5 of the virgins were wise, while 5 were foolish. These two categories of waiters are separated by by the same thin line that separates wisdom and foolishness. The line that separates heaven and hell. The line that separates good and evil. We are reminded that the servant is to wait patiently for his master's return. Therefore, the moment of waiting should not be a weary moment for us. Instead, it should be a moment of grace to be well prepared. We must not become victims of 11th hour. And here comes my last question. Why were the other virgins not charitable? I don't know whether you have ever asked yourself like that this question. 10, they had enough oil. When the bridegroom came, the other 5, they didn't have oil any longer. Why would not those who had oil to give them, why did they not give them? Can we accuse them of not being charitable? The answer is simple. This is because halfway into the party, all the oil would get finished. And everyone would be in darkness. And therefore there was the need of not sharing the oil. But also the second reason is that there was no excuse for not having sufficient oil, because there was ample time to prepare. And this takes us to what we are supposed to reflect about today. We have enough time to prepare for the second coming of Christ. And therefore, no one at the 11th hour should complain, I didn't know. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know when you are coming. Because Christ reminds us to stay vigilant always. St. Paul in the second readings noted that there is no specified time for the second coming of Christ. He tells us that we shall see Him when He appears in the sky. This means we are to be prepared all the times. And this is our prayer. This is my prayer for us today, that every day of our lives, let us live it as if Christ was coming the following day. Let us live our life reaching to one another, reminding one another that we shall only see Christ in the sky. It will not be announced that he is coming next year. No. And that is why sometimes when we meet people, people tell me, somebody has passed on, and I was him yesterday. It's like if yesterday somebody could not have died, you know? It can happen. Even if you are with me now, then in the evening that Father Kibaki is no more. You don't say that, you know, I was with him. I think the best question would be, was he prepared to meet the Lord? And therefore, that's what Christ is challenging us today, that we stay prepared. In the name of the Father,